rules. So once again, I want to welcome everyone to tonight's class. So Mr. Gbadebo has not yet joined, so we hope that he will join later on. So, but we have to just kickstart because of the timing. Okay. So, if you look at my screen, you see Python, and then I wrote data science. Okay. So, I will start, and I said something. I should get your notes. Okay. So let's just kickstart. So Python is high level programming language for okay, I don't know if you study computer science or any related IT courses. We have different programming language. Okay, we have different programming language. We have the low level, and then we have the high level programming language. The high level programming language uses human like structure, okay, for writing its code, the syntax, that is the rules. That's what I mean by syntax, the protocols rather. Okay. So, and then we have many of them. We have Java, is an high level programming language because it uses language that are closer to human like. For instance, you will see us typing English. All these are languages that you understand. Okay. So, and then we have other ones like your Django, your OAK, what other ones again? The HTML is for front end developer, that is web development. Okay. Now, one of the advantage of Python is that it's versatile. For instance, you can use it for AI, you can use it for data science. Okay, that is where we have the machine learning as well. Okay, we can use this same Python for it. So, and that is why it is important that you have a full grasp of it. Is this same Python we use in building models. If you'll be moving further to deep learning, you will need this same Python. Okay, so it is important that we pay attention to it. Like different with like the TensorFlow, the backdrop for TensorFlow as a library and as a model package is Python. Okay, and that is why you need to take advantage of it. I remember I was talking to my in-law, and then I was talking about Python. My in-law was saying, what is Python? Is it not big snake? And I said, no, 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 no. It is a language that a programming language that we use as a data analyst. Okay. So, and I went ahead to tell her that we also use Anaconda for it. There is Anaconda that contains different packages, such as the Jupyter notebook that we use for this purpose. Okay. So she now said, okay. And that is why I told us earlier on to download Anaconda and install. Okay. So, and I believe we all have downloaded Anaconda. Is that true? Mr. Atilewa?
Sorry, I'm still in the middle of downloading it at the moment.
Okay. Mr. Brown told me already that it is tomorrow night he's going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was on the road all day. That was why I
Oh,
traveled from Ondo to Lagos back.
okay. Okay. It's all right.
Thank you.
All right. So, let's then continue. It means okay, maybe you just look at my screen because and when we get to that debug, I want to show us some things because when we start, it will just be the practical aspects, but you need this basis for it. Okay, so we then move to the next slide. Let's see. Okay, now the environment of Python. I said you have to go to www.anaconda.com. Okay, Then you can, once you download it and you install it, comes with other package like the PowerShell. I used to use the PowerShell to change the directory of my Anaconda, my Jupyter. Usually, when you install Anaconda, the file, the source file will be in your C drive. Okay, it will be in the, that is inside your main memory. Let me use that word so that I'll not be able to call it C drive. However, if you want to enhance easy access because you'll be using some data sets, you can create a folder on the desktop, put all your data sets inside it, and then you use your PowerShell by changing it to and then use your PowerShell to change the directory whenever you want to work to that new folder that you just created, located on your desktop. Okay, so we have other ID, integrated development environment. That is what we mean by IDE, please. Okay, IDE means integrated development environment that you can also use for your Python. We have the PyCharm, we have the VS Code. Okay, then we then move ahead to see history about Anaconda. Why are we using Anaconda? Anaconda is a best and it has been tested, okay? It has been tested over time, and then over 7,005 users have downloaded this for both Python and R programming language. Okay, so and it is scalable and with performance. You can use it for NumPy. NumPy is a library you'll be using at the course of this training. Pandas is also a library that we used to use to read our data sets. Number and many of them. We have the visualize results too. Such are they help you to visualize your charts, to create charts rather. We have the Matplotlib is a library. We have the Seaborn among others. Okay, so we have the other ones that we use for machine learning, the scikit-learn, TensorFlow, CNN. All these are other are also library that we use for that. And as we proceed in the training, when we finish Python, we enter data science, you'll be seeing some of this library playing out. Okay, now let's move on to Jupyter Notebook. The Jupyter Notebook is part of the package that you have in your Anaconda, okay? And it's a web source. Usually, when you open your Jupyter Notebook, it will open on your browser. It will not open as an application on its own. It will open on a browser, either uh, your your Chrome or your Explorer, okay? On your default browser, you just notice that it will open on your default browser, and it helps you for data cleaning, data transformation, numeric simulation, statistical modeling, data visualization, machine learning, deep learning, among among others. Now, let's look at the basic operations on Jupyter Notebook. Don't forget, I said, let me quickly recap. We have Anaconda, that is a software you downloaded, you install, and I said that it contained the Jupyter Notebook. Now, let's look at what you can do with your Jupyter Notebook. Your Jupyter Notebook helps you to save your code automatically in using this file extension .ipynb. That is a file extension that it uses automatically. And if you now want to save the code, you can also save .py, that is py. All right. So that is how it works. So you use it to save your file, and the file extension can be in ipynb or .py. Okay. Now the next thing I want us to look at is the data types and variables. Now, when we say the data type, what do we mean by data type? Now let's look at gender. You know, as a gender, we have what we call a male and female. For instance, Mr. Moto, the data type for Mr. Moto is a male. Are we together? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please, I want to hear a response from you.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Now,
I'm with you, sir.
okay. The data type for our admin is a female. When we say something is a data type, is describing, is giving us the characteristics, the future, the behavior of that data, that feed. It says, okay, this data, it is number. Oh, this data, it is string. This data is this and that. Okay, that is what we mean by data type. And every data that you have is classified into type. If you remember when we did the Power BI or Excel, you also see we changed data type like yesterday for Power BI. We did same thing. And we said, okay, let's make this thing date because that data is date. We say, okay, this one is whole number. This one is text. Okay. Now, for Power BI, sorry, for Python, we have integer in place in lieu of whole numbers. Just like yesterday, 1, 2, 3 was whole numbers in Power BI. Now, for Python, we call it int, meaning integer. Is that okay? For instance, 10, 5, 6, 7, 20, 30, 50, 100. Okay? These are numbers. They are whole numbers. So we refer to them as integer. Now, if you are to perform statistical analysis on Python, it is important that you convert your data. If they are in string, if they are in letter, okay, you need to convert them into integer. Okay, so with that, you can calculate your mean, that is the average. You can calculate the standard deviation. You can calculate the mode, and among others. Okay, so we have the integers. Not only that, another data type that we have is the floating point. Float, that's what we are, float. And float means a decimal number. For instance, 5.24, 5.1, 5.3. So when you have a number that has decimal points, such data we refer to it as a float data type. Are we together, please?
Yes.
Okay. Now, another data type is the string. The string, I say it deals with characters, letters. Okay? Characters, letters, sentence, name. For instance, my name is Alphadat. So the data type of Alphadat is string. Okay? But when you say my age is 5, the data type of age is integer. Are we getting it?
Yes.
All right. Now we have booleans. Booleans deals with true or false, yes or no, dead or alive. Okay. So when you have true or false data, such data type we refer to them as booleans. If you remember your elementary computer, we call it a zeros and one. Okay. When you have a zeros and one, these are boolean data type. Yes, we can proceed. Now let's quickly check what we mean by variable. Variable. Okay. Variable simply means what you use to store your data. You know, those days at the university when we did programming, I remember I did Java, and then you are trying to, they'll tell you, okay, Ade is just a name, or Brian is just a name. Okay, now I can now say, Brian, please hold this thing for me, please store this thing for me. Okay, I can assign it to hold anything for me. Okay, such thing we call it a variable. So a variable is a memory location, as simple as that. It's a memory location that you use to store your data value. To declare such variable, we are using this sign equal to. This equal to, that is what we use to to assign value. Once you see a is equals to 5, what it means is a is holding 5. Okay, look at this example. Age is equals to 25. It's telling us that age is a variable, right? And the value that age is holding is 25. This is, so This equal to is serving as what we call assignment method. That is what this equal to is serving at this point. When you remember your Excel or this thing, or you say you are using the reference, okay, but in this point here is serving as assignment method. Now look at this height. We said height is equals to 5.8. What does it mean? Height is holding 5.8. All right, then we have name. Name is equals to Alice. If you look at data type is string, so the name is holding Alice. We are assigning Alice to name. Okay, so name is holding Alice. Now look at this, is student is equals to true. That is student is equals to true, meaning that the Alice is a student. That's why you see it's showing boolean, because it's true or false argument. So let's proceed. Mr. Tilewa, I guess the network has removed him. Now uh, we have data types. Data. Okay, I've said that already. We just did data type. So now it's important I say this. Now you may want to check the data type of of a variable. Now, how do you check it? Imagine you have here we have age, height, name. Okay, now I want to check the data type. To do that, I will now print, I'll write print, then I open my parentheses. This circle bracket, we call it parentheses, okay? Type,
Okay.
type. So once you write type, what your Anaconda Jupyter notebook is understand, you want to know the data type for age. So once you write it this way, print, type, and then you open another parenthesis and write the variable name. The variable name is age. So you are saying that I want to know the data type for age. So once you send this, Anaconda will return back, or Jupyter Notebook rather will return back to it. Oh, age from the previous code, the data type is int. Okay, is int.
Yes.
Then the same thing for height, the same thing for name, and the same thing for student. I will still touch methodology later on, because I need to tell you how do you know that this is a method. Okay, let me quickly say that, so that let me do that so I guess you are seeing my screen. Now when you have
Yeah,
something
sure.
like this, uh d type, d type, this and it is showing that you want to know the data type because it's ending with parentheses. Okay, so
Yes.
if you see any other thing, maybe sum, this is a method as well. Okay, he's saying that he wants to know the method. You are using some method. Okay, all right, because you will see some other like unique dot sum. Like we want to know the items that are not empty. When we get to data class, you'll be seeing all this method. Are we together, please?
Yes. Yes.
All right, so let me quickly remove this. I just use this to explain what I'm saying. All right, now let's proceed. We have data structure. Data structure is very, very important as a data analyst. I want to say as a programmer, as a data analyst. Now, because it tells you the rules, the regulations that governs this code you are typing, you are writing in your Jupyter notebook. And the first data structure we are going to consider is what we call list. List. Some people used to call it array. Array. Okay. For instance, can you get me list of fruits or fruits? Now we have so many fruits, right? Let's assume I say, can you get me fruits from the market? Now we have mango, we have oranges, right? Can you give me one other one, Mr. Moto?
Lemons.
Lemon, okay. Another one,
We can say peach.
okay. Now, when you are working and you have a list of item, you have a list of item. Look at the condition. The condition is the list are ID for storing an ordered collection of items where you may need to modify, add or remove. You can later you can append, that is you are adding to it. You can revert, that is you are removing, okay? You can modify. So it means that list is susceptible to change. All right. So you can have list of name.
Yes.
Right. So such time if you have a list like that, don't forget this is what you are using. These brackets. Let me change the color. This you see this one is square bracket, right? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. So that is what
Yes, I
you
can see it.
use for listing. Please don't forget. That is what you use
Square
for
brackets.
listing. Okay. So there's an example of
All
code
right.
under after this. You will see how it is being used. So, but this one is for list. So if you get to Panda 2 and then you want to put your table in a tabular form, you will still use these same square brackets. Okay, you still use these square brackets.
Okay.
Yes. So the condition is your items, they are susceptible to change. You can modify, you can edit. All right. So you can use lists. All right. So let's see an example of it in the next stuff here. Now, this code here is an example of uh, using list. Look at what I wrote. I say fruits. Now I say we have apple. Remember the way I list it. Oh, the apple is inside quote. Now, if you make a mistake and you do not put it inside quote, just write apple, comma, banana, comma, cherry. It may not go, but I will tell you how to navigate it when you have error when we get there. Okay. Now we have
All right.
a banana, cherry. Now, if you now let's assume I want to print one of the fruits. Now, the way it works is it has index. We say print fruits, and I put one inside. If you look at this, you will be thinking that apple is one, but that is not how index work. The way index work, let me quickly add that at the top of this to explain how index work. Where is my table? One, two, three. Okay, let's work with this. Okay, let's work and see. So I want to quickly put index. Now you see this apple is 0. This banana here is 1, and this cherry is 2. I'm trying to move it upward. Do you understand me? Do you understand? Are we together? Can you hear me,
We are
Mr.
getting, huh?
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yes,
Yes,
I can hear
yes.
you, sir.
okay. So now, if you look at all this now, you have to now add index to it. This is not 1. This is 0, 1, 2. All right, that is how index work. So now if you want to print using index, look at it, print fruit 1. So which item is 1 here?
Banana.
Banana. All right. So if I want to print apple, I'll put 0 there, right? If I want to print cherry, I'll put 2. All right. So and look at the way it works. We said print is using print method, and I say if you have print method, you put print open parenthesis, and then you now put fruits and then square bracket because it's an array 1 inside. Okay, that is why you see this. So you see
Yes.
print the normal ID method. Let me do something here. Ideally, this is a print method. If you want to print, this is the method for print. Now, what you want to print is an item inside fruit. So what you do is you will now tell us what is the variable name. The variable name is fruit, right?
Yes.
Fruit. All right. Now we have stated the variable name, print fruit. If you write something like the print fruit, it will print everything inside fruit. Is that okay? Now, because I don't just want everything inside fruit, I will now specify using the square brackets and say, okay, what I want inside the fruit is banana. And then you use the index number to represent it. Please, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I have to explain so that you understand. So that when you get to the practical aspects, you know how to print. When you need an item inside, you know how to print an item specifically. Okay. Now we have another one. I told you you can modify it because it's not constant. For instance, I want to change item 1 here to blueberry. Okay, to do that you just write fruit, then you put the index number inside a list, this array, this square bracket, and then you now assign it and say now one will now be blueberry. Look at it, I put square bracket and I put and that, sorry, quotes, double quotes and double quotes. Okay, then you now move. That is how to modify. Let's then assume that you want to add. While I was explaining, I said to add an item into your array, we use what we call append. So to add a new element or item into this, you look at what I did. I use this same append method. After this, like, you see other method. Append method. This is the method. Let me list it here. This is this is it. Naturally, this is the method to add something into an array. Now you want to add something into, so which variable do you want to add it into? You have to tell us. Oh, the variable I want to add something into is fruit. Okay, then
Okay.
since it's fruit, then the next question is what do you want to add into fruit? Then you now put it, you put double quotes, and let's assume you say mango. Let me write something, mango, and then you close the quotes. Okay, so now you see this is the method append this. Then you have listed what we want to add, mango, and we are saying come and stay inside fruits, the list of fruits. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So if you do that, you now notice that the items you are going to have inside this will now be 4. It will no longer be 1 to 3 item again, it will be 4. So the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Please, do we understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let me quickly. Then we have another one, the removing. Let's assume you want to remove an item inside your list. How do you do it? You use the remove method. The remove method is this. I said when you have anything that this. Okay, let me just write it. Remove and something like this. Once you is ending with this circle bracket or we call parenthesis, it is a method. Okay, so once you want to remove, say fruit, I want to remove, so what do you want to remove? Okay, I want to remove apple. From where? From fruit. Now I also need to add something. The method you are to remove, now you see we are adding dot. This is dot operator, right? We call this dot operator. So that is what you are using now, because you see we didn't put equals to. We are not, if you put equals to, that is assignment. That is, you are assigning. But this time we are using dot operator. That is, we are not assigning it. We are using dot operator. So imagine when we want to add 2, that we also use dot operator. When we want to remove, we use dot operator. Okay? So we have done how to modify, how to add, and how to remove. So we use remove operator, we use a method rather, we use append, and then we use modify. So when we did for modify, it's what we are assigning, because modifying means you are changing it, you are giving it a new thing. So that is how we say we pick the array, the list number 1, index 1, and we say we are changing it, assigning it to blueberry. So we see we didn't use dot operator there. But when we decide to remove or add, we now use the dot operator. All right. So let's proceed. Okay. Now, these are the, we have the other, we have the append, we used it. We have the remove, then we have the pop. All right, so remove an item by index. Item by index. So you look at the, where is it? Like print fruits. Okay, print. Let me see if I still have any other thing lingering here. Okay, I guess there's nothing there. So we have the pop. That's to remove an item by index. Then we have the sort. We have the reverse. That is, if you want to reverse the order, instead of apple coming first, you want it to come last. You can use. We have this the reverse method as well. Okay. Okay. Now let's move on to another thing under our data structure. As I said, we are looking at data structure. Okay. So we are looking at tuple now. So tuple are ordered and immutable collections of items. Now, if you remember your list or array, we say we are using square brackets. But for tuple, we are using this, look at this parenthesis, this circle brackets, parenthesis, this one called parenthesis for it. For array, we use list. But for tuple, you'll be using this circle bracket. Now, what is the difference between tuple and array? For you to use tuple, it means your collections of items will never be changed. It shouldn't be changed. For instance, the coordinate of your data set. So it shouldn't be changed. You know, the case of array, we are changing it, we modify, we added, we remove. All right. But for tuple, you cannot change it. It's constant. So it shouldn't be changed. All right. So that is the difference. And not only that, we said we use parentheses for it, unlike the array list. Now, this is the code. To do that, look at it. We are creating a tuple. We say coordinate is equals to 4, 5. All right. Then if you are accessing the coordinate, you say, okay, print coordinates. The point is, what are you printing? You see, it is the index that we have here is 0. Look at it. Is 0. All right. So that is 0, 1. 0. So when you print this, is 4 that will come out. And if you try to modify it, maybe you now said, oh, coordinate 0 is equals to 10. It will flag an error for you. Okay. So um that is how tuple works. So it is when you have a constant, something that shouldn't be modified or changed. So we use tuple, and we said that you list your item in parentheses. Now take note, if you are doing it this way, we said that the index of what you are printing will be in a square bracket. Please take note of this structure I'm saying. These are rules that will govern your coding, your practice. Okay. Now this is another one. We have other tuple methods. You can use count. That is count occurrence of value. How many times does it appear? Then you can do index. That is to return the index of a value. That is, if you don't want to return the value, you want the index to be returned, you can use index as well. Now let's move on. Another structure, another thing we have to see in data structure is what we call set. In mathematics, it's what we call set theories. Okay, where you have the universal set, you have the subset. Mr. Adetilewa, do you remember? Mr. Motu, are we together?
Yes, we are together. Yes.
All right. Please, do you understand everything you have been
Yes, I
saying?
was together.
Mr. Motu, do you understand everything we have been saying?
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay. Mr. Tilewa, I said, do you remember your set theory?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So now it's coming to play here again. You know, those people will say, okay, all this mathematics we are doing, all this union, what are we using it for? All right. So you see it in our day-to-day activities. It's coming up here again. So sets are unordered collections of unique items. Okay. They are other collection of unique items. This means duplicate are not allowed. You cannot have duplicate of item in it. And the ordered is not guaranteed. You cannot say it's an ascending order or descending order. Now, if you want to create a set, you use curly bracket. This is another condition. You can see it now. Unlike the other two that we have a square bracket for array, we have a circle bracket for tuple. Now for set, I said we are using curly brackets, braces. Okay, so this is the syntax for having set inside it. Now, when you what is the condition that at what instance do you use set? Okay, you use sets when you need to store unique items and perform operations like union, intersection, differences. Okay, when you need to perform operations such like union, intersection, and differences, you will use set. Please don't forget, whenever you want to perform such operations, you use union, intersection, and differences. I remember my Cameroon student when he came, after we did the background, I told him, I said, don't forget, because when we begin to do hands-on, I'll be asking you. So I expect you to be telling me, okay, yes, this is what we're supposed to do. So, but if you have forgotten, there's no way you can remember. Okay. So please, whenever you want to perform operation like union, intersections, ensure that your set, your data are unique and there's no duplicates. Then you can there form a set using the curly braces. Then this is example of a code where curly braces is being used. Look at it, we have colors. Now for color, we have red, blue, green, yellow, as many, all of them, they are all color. Okay. Now with color, look at what we now did here. We say, okay, we want to add more color. We use the add method. We say color dot add. Don't forget, in list, it was append we use. But coming to what's his name now? Set, we are using add. Please don't forget all this method. For list, for array, we use append to add. Then for our set, we are using add, and it's still dot operator. And then we open our parentheses, and then we put yellow. Okay, can I tell you something? Are we together?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, when
Yes,
you
sir.
when you have one items to add, I want you to take note. You see that we are using parentheses, right? But when you have more than one items, it is expected that you use that array, that list. Are we together, please? Or you use your curly
Yes.
bracket, as the case may be. Now, look at this. We use our dot method and we listed it here. Then, if you want to remove, it's also using the remove method. The colors dot remove, that is saying, I want to remove green. The question is from which variable? And look at the variable colors. Okay, that is the variable name, right? And variable color is holding red, green, and blue. All right. Now you can check membership. Like you want to check if a color or an item actually exists in a set. Okay, so how do you do that? You can just say, okay, print red. Okay, print red, and then you put it inside double quotes in colors. Then when you do that, what it will do for you, it will not just print red for you. It will tell you, oh, true, color red exists in this variable color. But if it doesn't exist, it will tell you false, that it doesn't exist. Okay. Now, if I want to print the entire what's his name now, the entire color, is just to come here and say, okay, oh, print colors, and then everything in colors will appear. Don't forget, I said if you want to print a single item, there's a way I showed you up here. Let me quickly revert. Let me revert so I can see. Okay. Now, if you want to print just a single item, it's different from when you are printing uh, everything. So you have to specify the item inside it, okay, before printing. For instance, print, and then you put color, and then you open another parenthesis. I was trying to show you an example, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, so I've gone far. Okay, this is where we are. So now let's come back here. Let's look at common set operations. I said we can perform union in your set, and look at the method. This union parenthesis. This combine two sets. Then we have intersection. Then you have your intersection method. Look at the parentheses. It finds the common element that exists between the two sets. Then you can find differences. That is, it finds the element unique to one set. Okay, and this is the method. All right. And then we have dictionary. Dictionary is another data structure that you need to know as a data analyst. Okay. Now, what is dictionary? Dictionaries are collections of key value pairs. Each key must be unique, and they allow fast access to value by keys. You know, there's what we call modeling or relationship, where there's an, I said it yesterday, there's an item that exists in a particular table that is existing in another one. So that is what we call key. You will say, okay, this is what is combined that is unique in both. You say key on. So the same thing is under a dictionary here, and there's a way you do that. You create a dictionary using a curly brace. Look at this curly brace, just like the set, just like your set, you use it too. Look at it. Let me increase so you can see. But this time around, what you are using it for is for to show keys and value. Then you then separate, that is the key, you separate it by colon, these two dots. Okay, you separate by two. Anytime you are using dictionary, that is what you do. Okay, then example, where do you use it? Let's look at it. Let me adjust this now. Okay, where do you use it? You use dictionary for mapping relationship between keys and values, like a phone book or a database. So that is where you use it. Let's make progress. Now this example of a dictionary. Look at what we did here. We created, we say student is the variable name, and then is equals to, look at the dictionary name. This is the key, and this is the value. Do you remember what I said, Mr. Moto? Mr. Moto?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I said this is that name is the variable, right?
Yes.
And we said um name, right? Student is the variable, then name is the key, and then Alice here, because it's separated by, let me move this somewhere. Okay, let me put it here so it won't block. Alice here, because we said it's separated by two with column, right? So look at
Yes.
so I want to make sure you see what I'm doing here. So Alice is the value assigned to name. Let me add it as a quote. So we have Alice. Okay, so you can see this the key, this is the value, and all this now they are in student. The student is the variable name. Okay, then we have age. Age is the key, and this 22 is the value. Now we have course. Course is the key. Look at this quote: mathematics and sciences. You see they are in array, right? They are in a list. You see that when you have a list, you put it in square. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so now mathematics and science are values. All right, so now if you move forward, you see that if you want to access the value, you want to check, what do? you print student, that is this student, the variable name, and then what are you looking for in the variable name? You then put name. Because if you did not use this array inside, you just put print student, the software or the anaconda will print everything in student for you. Are we together?
Yes.
All right. So now if you then put print, and then you put the variable name, this is student is a variable name, and then name is the item inside the variable. Say I want name. Now once you print name, name is holding the value of name is Alice, it will give you Alice. Now let's assume you want to modify, you want to change, you want to edit. Okay, you just, that one is easier. Student, that is a variable name. What are you making reference to in student? You say, oh, age. You see that is in array too. Okay. Please take note of all this syntax. Is equals to 23. So you are changing the age from 22 to 23. Now, let's assume you want to add. You want to add new things to it. So it's the same thing. Here, we are not using append, we are not using add, we are using equal to the assignment method, just like the modifying stuff. We now said, okay, adding a new key value. Say student, then we now put graduated. You look at it, is in array, that square bracket. Okay, so take note of this rule. Whenever you are making reference to a particular thing inside a variable, take note that you tell us the variable name, you use your square bracket and put the item you are making reference to inside double quotes. Please don't forget. Then you now assign it is equals to 4. So you are saying that student graduated is equals to 4. So that is what they are doing. And over here, if you look at the initial one, we don't have graduated. It's now we are adding it to it. But we have to put it inside array, inside this list. Okay? Now, if you want to remove, it's the same thing. Now we are using del, that is delete. Okay? Del, then that which means to delete. Del, the question is, what do you want to delete? Oh, it's from variable name. Student is a variable name. So you put variable name. The question is, then they now say, give us the items. You put it inside array. Don't forget, inside quote and array. You are saying delete students, and courses rather. So once you do this, the Jupyter notebook will remove students. Then the next thing, you say print student. Once you print student, everything left will come out. Look at it, name Alice, age 23, then graduated, we said is first, the same thing here. All right, so that is dictionary. We said once again, dictionary uses a curly braces, just like set, and then you can use it, okay, to assign some things and make adjustments respectively. And then we said when you are using dictionary, it is used to show relationship. You must have your key, and your key is separated from the value using quotes. This quote and there'll be column rather, column. Okay, that is separate. So once you see column, you know that this is a key and this is the value. Please, do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Tilewa.
So I'm kind of lost, but I'll revert back to the recording
Okay, okay,
because my network has been fluctuating a lot. So
okay, okay,
I'll revert back to the recording.
okay. Now we have common dictionary methods that you can use. Get, okay. The get method means to access a,
Sir?
no, we have continued. I say no problem. So we have the get method. Get method as is a part of dictionary method that you can use to access value and to return the default if the key is missing. Okay. Then we have the keys value. You can use to get list of all keys in your dictionary. Okay. Then we have the values. This help you to get list of all value in your dictionary. Then we have items. This items method help you to get list of key value PS as tuple, okay, that they are paired together as tuple. That is key and value, key and value, key and value. It will help you to get it. The other one that is key just for all keys. Okay, then this get is to access your value and to return a default if the key is missing. All right, so these are other methods that we have in dictionary method. We are still in data structure. Now we have advanced data structure, we have the stack, and we have the queue. Okay, for the stack, we have the stack is used for collections that follow lifo. I know for those who study mathematics, or I have idea about math. We have lifo, we have fifo. Okay, fifo means first in, first out. Okay, while lifo means last in, last out, first out. That is lifo. Okay, now for your stack follow this algorithm. The last thing to come in, the last item in that order is what will first come out. All right, that is what stack algorithm works with. Okay, now when do you use this stack? Okay, stack is used for tasks where the last item added should be the first one to be removed, like undo operation in text editor. Do you understand? When you are typing, and then maybe you type Abu, and oh, there's a mistake, and you press Control Z. You know, the last thing you type, that is the first thing that will go out. Do you remember? So, are we together, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, what that thing you see in your Microsoft Word on your exam, you press Control Z,
Yes, sir.
is what we call LIFO, last in and then first out. Okay. So, let's see a code, a snippet for stack. For instance, we have stack is equals to this array. Look at this square bracket. You just make it open. There's nothing inside the square bracket. If you see it here, it's empty. There's nothing inside. We said, okay, stack is equals to empty. There's nothing inside. Now, you now want to list something inside. Don't forget, we say when we are using list, we use append, right? Look at it. Stack dot append one. We are saying we are putting one inside. Stack dot append two. That is another value we are putting inside. Stack dot append three. That is another value we are putting inside. You will take note that when we are using value, we are not putting it inside quotes, right? So the reason why we are not putting value, that is number, inside quotes is because they are integer. Okay, that's why they are not inside quotes. But when you have string or character, you must put them inside quotes. Please don't forget this rule I just said. Yeah, it's not written here, but I feel like telling us. All right, so now these are numbers. If you print stack dot po method, now we say this pop method is used to remove an item. If you remember,
Sir, please come again.
okay, let me come again. I said that if you look at all this number 1, 2, 3, they are not inside double quotes. I said the reason why we are not putting them inside double quotes is because they are integer, they are numeric. That is why. If they are to be string or text or character, I said we are going to use quotes. We are going to put them inside quotes. If you remember other ones you have been doing, when we had apple and the like, they were inside quotes. Banana, they were inside quotes. But this one, there is no quotes in it. Okay, so we are adding all this number into this empty set, into this empty list, empty array. Okay, now we have added it. This append means to add, because that is the method you use in array that we did that in the previous slide. Let's proceed. Let's now assume we want to print. And I said print. The question is, what are you printing? We say stack dot pop method. Don't forget, we said pop method is used to remove item. I said that when I was considering array. If you remembered, under the method of list. So now when you do this pop will remove the last item you added. That is that lifo, last in, first out. So immediately you print this output, last item added is first removed. You see, output is 3. This one here, that is the first item you see, 3, because that is the last item that was added. So is the last item added will be the first to come out. That is last in, first out. Please, do you understand me? Mr. Tilewa,
Yeah, we are following.
Moto?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, the last one for this advanced data structure is queues. Q in English is Q. Okay, that is letter Q. So it's Q. Now, for Q, the algorithm that Q works with is first in, first out. That is FIFO. Unlike Stack work with LIFO, while Q works with FIFO. That is the first item that you first, like for instance, you added 1. When you use pop method, it is that one that will first come out. Now, let's look at it. He said you use Q for tax where the first item added should be the first one removed, like tax scheduling. All right, let's see one of the snippet code here. This is it. Now we have you can import this. You can import this. That is this library from collection library. We are importing the queue. That is the library we want to use for this. So using the queue as a queue, you have queue. Look at the name. We are assigning it to the queue, this library we imported. All right, when we get to the platform Anaconda as the Jupyter, you will see everything play. Look at the queue here, and then we say this is a method, we open parentheses, then we have the list. We have A, B, C. You see what I'm telling you? The last one it was number, but this one they are in letters, so they are in double quotes. That double quote or single quote will work. Look at it, A, B, C. Now we now said q dot append, add d to it. Look at it, is in, we have d here. Now let's now print. We now say okay, print q dot pop left method. Okay, so we want to print but from the left. Now if you print from the left, that is a, right? A is from the left here. We have if you added d, that is from the right. So we said okay, print q, this because that is what we assigned. Q here is a variable name. Print q, that is a variable name, and we said what we want for you print q pop left. So once you print, the first letter on your left is letter what? Mr. Moto, Mr. Adetilewa, the first letter on your left is letter what? Can you see it?
You mean on, or you mean on the queue?
A?
You mean on the queue?
Yes, the first letter is what? On the left.
A.
Yes. So now once you run it, the first letter is going to print out for you is letter A. All right. Now let's look at loop. Now loop helps you to execute.
A.
Okay,
No,
thank you,
I'm
Mr.
copying.
Adetilewa. We have loop. Loop allows you to execute block of code multiple times. In any programming language, either Java, either C++, you must do looping. We have different looping. We have the for loop, we have while loop, we have the while loop. But for this course, we'll check for loop and while loop. Okay. So when you want to execute a program in multiple times, you want a program to run in more than one time. Do you understand? In sequence, then you use looping. Okay. Now let's look at one of the example of looping. We have the for loop, and we said the for loop is used to iterate. Iterate means increase of one or into to be increasing. Okay, is used for iterating over a sequence such as a list or range of numbers. For instance, if you are using for loop, you list the range first, then you give the condition, and then before the counter, that is the iteration. Let's see an example of for loop. This is a code. Look at the range. This thing means range. We said fruit, that is a variable name, and is holding all these apple, banana, cherry. Okay, these are the range of these items. And look at it, is in array, is in list. Now we now said that print fruits. Okay, for fruit in fruit. Okay, look at it now. We say for fruit because apple is a fruit. Okay, in fruit. We now said print fruit. Okay, now by the time you do this, the loop will print every fruit. Inside fruit, we have apple, banana, cherry. Okay, it did not use plus one, like, but when it has been used numerical, it's okay, plus one, plus two. That it didn't state the iteration. It just okay, just print. So, and it will print everything and stop. Let's check while loop. While loop. Okay. For while loop, the while loop continue as long as the condition is true. You know, when the other one was for loop. For while loop, as long as that condition that you gave is true, it will continuously run. It will not stop until when it hits false. Now let's look at the example. For example, you state the 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 work. You say count is equals to 1. That is the initialization. Count is equals to 1. We say count is a variable and is holding 1 for us. Now this is the condition. We say while count is less than or equals to 3. This less than or equals to is a logical operation. We call it logical operation. In mathematics, you did it. Okay? We call it logical. Is less than or equal to, so it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, but it cannot be more than 3. Okay? So this is the condition. Now we now said print count. Now the iteration is plus 1. Okay, so we said count plus is equals to 1. So the first thing it will print is it will print this 1 for us. Then it will now be adding plus, it will be adding 1 to this count. The first one, the first count is 1. Then it will add 1 to it, is 2. It will continuously add 1, making 3. If you add 1, making 4, it's going to stop because 4 is greater than 3. So once he added 1 and it's up to 4, it will just stop. So you have exceeded the condition, so I will stop here. So that is how while loop works. Okay, that is how while loop works. Now let's move on. We have another one, conditional. Conditional. This is another thing, data structure or nitty-gritty you need to know as it pertains to Python. Now, there are some instances that you may need to execute some conditions. If this is equals to this, please give me this. Okay, so we have different. We have the if. This is one. If this is one. Let me put red. Okay, this is one condition. We have another elif. This is another one. Then we have another one s. That is a 3 we'll be considering for this statement. They are used to make decisions. So let's pick for example, age is equals to 18. So if you want to state a condition, that's okay. If age is greater than 18, I'll say print you are an adult because you must have a result for it. You must have result for it. Just like if you are working on an exam, you're using if and else statement. The same thing, you must have a result. So if age we said is greater than 18, and we said we declared age here, this variable, to be 18. So if the age is greater than 18, you are an adult. Then the elif comes to play. If age is greater or equals to 13, print you are a teenager. Then s, you are a child. Now, in all these conditions, is only one that will work. You cannot have everything to work because you have if and else statement in it. Okay, so when you have more than one condition, more than two condition, okay, then you must include this elif. But if your condition is just one, you don't need to add this elif to it. Please, do you understand, Mr. Muto?
Yes, we are following.
Okay,
Yes, I'm following.
okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Let's move on. Now, you can as well combine conditions with your logic gate. Your logic gate such as the AND gate, the OR gate, the NOT gate. Okay, you can combine them together with your condition statement. Now, to do that, look at this one, checking if a number is between 1 to 10. We want to check, that's what we want to do. So we can declare number is equal to 7. Then we'll then declare, this is the condition, if number is greater than a 0, look at this and number is less than or equals to 10. See the two, we are using it to combine two conditions. Print the number is between 1 and 10. So if the number is greater than a 0 but is less than or equals to 10, we say print the number is between 1 and 10. Okay, then if now I can say s, print the number is not available. But if I have another condition, I can say elif this is, then I'll give the result then before my else statement. Okay, so in summary for tonight's class, we have looked at data structure, we look at the list, the tuple, the set, the dictionary, and we said for order, list and tuple are ordered, okay, but set and dictionary are not ordered. Now when we say something is changeable, that is mutable, that is changeable. List is changeable, set is changeable, dictionary is changeable, but tuple is not changeable. Now, which of them they are used for unique items is, we have a set for unique items, then your key must be unique. Okay, that's why you have your primary and foreign key. Now look at the symbols that we use. Now for list, we use this square bracket. For tuple, we use this circle bracket, that is a parenthesis. For set, we use this brace, curly braces. And then for dictionary, we have used braces, but it must have key, colon, and value. Okay, that is that. So we are going to stop here, but before then, I said I want to say some other thing. Let's, Mr. Adetilewa, Mr. Tilewa,
Yes, I'm with you, sir. Yes, sir.
okay, have you installed it now?
My network has been really bad, sir.
So you have not been able
It's
to,
not even
so you have
moving
not been
at
able,
all.
okay,
So I've just been
okay,
following.
okay. I thought you
Yes,
have installed
about
it, but
yes, sir. But
nevertheless,
I'll do that tomorrow morning.
tomorrow morning. Okay, our time
I'll
has
do it
gone
this night.
already.
Or this night. I'll do that this night.
Okay, our time has gone
Yes, sir.
already. But what I will do is, in our next class,
So,
I will start from the place, this same place where we'll be
that sounds
debugging.
good.
I will explain some things to you. When you type your code and then there's an error, what you need to do. Okay, you don't need to panic at all. What you need to do, how you copy that error, okay, and use your AI to find solution to it. That's what I will do in the next class. Okay, before we start
All right, sir.
entering all this. So I will advise that you go through everything you have considered to know the step-by-step approach of how to
Mhm.
do to analyze data using Python. Okay, so next in our next class,
Okay,
hopefully,
sir. But sir, can we get this your PDF, sir?
not we send the video because this class, this thing, it contains other things
Okay, okay.
we'll still
Thank you so
consider.
much, sir.
Yes, so I will send the link.